Okay, welcome to a tutorial on a dynamic web page design. Now this tutorial is going to feature how to create a website with a standard template and have, when the user clicks a link, the only thing that's going to change is the content that the user wants to see. So it does save time, it saves a lot of effort, and if you ever make errors in, say, your menu or your heading when you want to add or change anything, you don't have lots of separate files. Now the only file really we're going to work with is index.php and one other file. Now the other file is going to be the content that's included within your web page, and index.php is going to represent the standard template for your web page. Okay, to start, I'm just going to create a PHP an HTML page out, and I'm going to be creating a table of width 70, and I'm going to align it in the center. And inside, I'm going to have two columns. And these are going to be the menu in here, which I'm going to make everything bold. And in here, I'm going to have the content. Now this is where our PHP script is going to go, because it's going to determine which page is displayed inside this standard template that we're creating now. So just above here, I'm going to create another table, and that's just going to be width 70 again. And I'm also going to align this in the center. Okay, so we have our standard template. Let's just correct some of these, and we need to fill this in quickly. Okay, and I'm going to say this as, let's just keep things simple and say header 1 Alex's web page. Okay, now let me edit my menu items. I'm going to create a link called home, and that's going to be taking us to index.php. And I'm going to create another link, just one for now so you can see, and that's going to be linking to something, and that's going to be tutorials. Now the reason I'm not writing this in yet is because I haven't determined the variable that's going to decide which page we go to. Now the basis of this is, if we have our index.php page, which looks a bit like this now. Let's just edit these menus. Align equals 20. Sorry, the width is 20%, and the width of this we're going to say is 80%. You don't need to do that, but it's good for seeing where you are. Okay, so our content's going to be displayed here, our menu's here, and our heading's here. Now the heading and the menu are never going to change, only the content. Now you've probably been on websites before and seen something like this written. Now that's what we're going to basically do. And our PHP code, which is going to be in place of this content soon, is going to take this variable, it's going to take this value and say, can I find this file in my inc folder, which I have already set up here. Okay, so we're going to have lots of files in here for the content that are only going to display the content, not the menu or the header. And it's going to try and find a matching value for tutorials, and that's going to be tutorials.php. However, we don't include the PHP in here because we're going to use that, write that in using our PHP. So as soon as we hit page equals tutorials, nothing happens because we have no PHP code at the moment, but this will replace this with the page specified. So what I'm going to do is, under my content, I'm going to get rid of that, and I want to first of all display a standard message for if a page isn't specified, and if a page is specified, I'm going to use the include function, and this is going to include a specific page here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up a variable. Oh, and in the second half of this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work with the fact that there might not be that page existing. You don't really want to show your user an error saying can't find this included file that I'm supposed to include, because it's going to look quite user unfriendly. So we're going to say make a page variable, and that's equal to $_get, and in here we're going to say page, or you could call it P, but whatever you write here is what is going to be shown up here. For example, at the moment I've got page. I'm going to delete that for now. So I'm going to call this page. Now I need to perform a check, so an if statement to say if page exists, and then I need to execute a block of code. And in here I'm going to say include, and it's basically going to include inside the inc folder okay, and then we need to concatenate the page, and then concatenate on the end the extension, so p.php. So this will look inside the include folder for the page variable that's been entered up here after the index.php, and then it'll include this here. Okay, so at the moment I've forgotten to include my PHP tags, and there you go. Okay, so this should work at the moment. At the moment, if I refresh, we're going to get nothing up. If I say page equals tutorials, we're going to get this error because there's no such file as tutorials. Now let's go ahead and create a tutorials page. Let's say welcome to my tutorials, and we're going to save this inside Inc as tutorials.php. Okay, so at the moment, as long as this variable, i.e. the variable that's specified in the URL in your address bar, equals tutorials, we're going to say yeah, it exists. I mean, something has been typed, and then we're going to say it's ready to include with the .php extension. As long as you've concatenated this properly, it should work. Okay, so let's go back, and here we've got index.php. I tell you what, let's add this in the link. So here we're going to say index.php page equals tutorials. Save that, refresh our page, and we can click tutorials and see that that has been included. And up here, page equals tutorials, and home takes us back to our home page. Now obviously, if nothing has been specified here, we can use an else statement and just say echo welcome to my home page. Or in fact, what you might want to do is say include, and then include inc, and then say a specific page, so maybe home.php you might have inside your inc folder. And then if there's nothing been specified, i.e. if you're just on the index.php page, it will just specify a standard page. Okay, so for now, for simplicity, I'm just going to say welcome to my website. Okay, now that's about that for that tutorial. That's all working. Let's go back home and click tutorials, and you can see that it's dynamically changing, and we've not duplicated a page, we've not wasted time making this, and it's so easy. If I want to say, right, I need to edit my menu, I can come in and say, let's create a new menu item, and that'll be there without any interruption to our functioning of our web page. Okay, check out the second part of this tutorial to learn how to say if a user types, for example, that in there, that's going to say, oh, I typed had. That's going to say warning, blah blah blah, no such file or directory. Therefore we need to make this a bit more user friendly and say, for example, sorry, that page wasn't found. So check out that tutorial and you'll learn how to do that. Okay, thanks for watching.